Bart Simpson. No, it's be righteous. Just wanted to intercourse with y'all real quick.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, party people throughout the boundless universe, welcome to another episode of the official last word under the umbrella of Big Bad Radio. As previously stated, I am the last emperor. Always be righteous.
Peace.
We got my man Boom on the boards, keeping everything crisp and clean with no caffeine. And again, welcome to another action-packed episode, broadcasting live and direct from the city of Philadelphia, Chinatown to be specific. We're here. It's a cold day in the city of Philadelphia. Very cold right now, approximately mid-30s. Definitely brisk day. But we're here.
No question.
We're here. And as always, we strive to bring you the finest in program as far as all things concerning hip-hop are related. A lot going on in the world, a lot going on in the city. Everyone hustling and bustling during this so-called holiday season. People are running around trying to find we're coming off of Black Friday, so-called Black Friday, which was a few days ago. A day and a period of time, a dispensation of time in which many people feel as though they can run out and get, I guess, bargains or deals as far as buying things are concerned. Obviously, the hot ticket items are televisions, computers, those technological devices, phones, tablets, you name it. People are trying to get deals in terms of buying these things. There's a mass effort by the 10% to get the masses, which are the 85, to run out and buy a whole bunch of stuff at this dispensation of time, because they think that the premium deals are taking place now in and around Black Friday. Now, I've heard some people say that the origin of Black Friday goes back to the old slavery auctions. Be righteous. Have you heard anything to that effect?
Hell no.
Yeah, I heard someone saying a few years back that the origin of Black Friday was rooted in how should we say, the slave auctions, when on certain days of the week, I guess in this instance Friday, many of the sellers of those enslaved Africans, obviously we're talking 16th, 17th, 18th century, so to speak, the transatlantic slave trade, in which the British, the French, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Portuguese all took place, all had a hand in. We know the history in terms of bringing mass numbers of enslaved so-called Africans from Africa here to the Americas, whether it be North America, South America, Central, the so-called Caribbean or Caribbean.
Did you acknowledge that documentary I sent you?
I haven't had an opportunity to really delve into that, but what's the science on that?
I was just going over the history, of Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Mm.
And it was deep. I didn't know that Haiti was there was more slaves that came through Haiti than that came through the shores of America. Like almost 3 times the amount.
Really?
Yeah, that was the second one I sent you.
Okay.
That I was like very informative, and then of course, Haiti is still suffering to this day from them, declaring their independence and freedom.
Exactly.
Back in 1691.
Right.
I'm like, that's fucked up. And kind of changed my perspective on Haitians. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't know. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Haiti is still paying a price for the Haitian Revolution, 1804. Definitely spearheaded by Toussaint Louverture and people and other people being involved, like Dessalines and stuff like that. If memory serves correct. And
no, your memory's pretty sharp.
Yeah, man.
They said what the president did from 57 to 71 as far as the Haitian president.
Okay.
That reflect totally screwed that country up.
I mean, just looking at the word Haiti, the word itself, the term itself, the title itself stems from Hades, which according to is that Latin or Greek, which basically means Latin. Hell. You know what I mean? As far as they're concerned, you know what I mean? So here we have these original people with a stamp placed on them, just like we have a stamp of, so-called American or African American, so-called, or whatever. But they've been stamped Hades, like they're the people of hell. You know what I'm saying? And not that there is a mystery hell, you know what I'm saying, or mystery heaven, a heaven and hell, and all that, because those are conditions of the mind which are right here on earth.
Right.
But when you are brought up in a system where you believe that you come from hell, that has a psychological effect and impact on people. Not to mention the fact that what you're saying is the concentration of enslaved African that it was brought to that region was even greater in number than here. I can see that because when you look at the level of influence that African culture has on Haitian culture, whether it be, okay, they're said to practice voodoo, which is really Vodun, which is a West African almost system of animism, or what they practiced in terms of, being relatable with nature and knowing how to manipulate and maneuver nature, whether it be the plants, the animals, the vegetation, knowing which herbs would produce which feeling in man or could heal man from whatever ailed him. So then that system began to be frowned upon. Are you practicing that African witchcraft stuff? You know what I mean? So instead of calling it Vodun, we'll call it voodoo. You know what I mean? And that you guys are evil for doing this. And then you see films coming out like many years ago there was a
Serpent in the Rainbow.
Bingo. Thank you, Be Righteous. Serpent in the Rainbow and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, because some of them are spooked out. Some of them do believe in some spooky stuff. You know what I mean? But they've taken out of context just being in tune with nature and being in tune with the environment. That's something we've always done as original people. It's just that we've gotten so far removed from that. We started to mix the dogmatic practice of organized religion with that and turned it into something spooky. But it's just really just being in tune with your surroundings, with yourself, and knowing how to use that to your advantage. But yeah, man.
why they always all those people that are into that look shot out and crazy.
I know, right?
They don't just never look. You don't never see no fly motherfucker, with a Rolex or whatever and shit. Get
Right.
out of Bentley and do some shit like they gotta be trembling, eyes rolling back in the
Right.
back of their head,
Bloodshot eye.
checking blood. Shit.
Right. Like they just literally just rose up from the grave.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. And we know and understand that, like they would always emphasize when I was younger and my parents were in the NOI that there's no coming back from a physical death.
Not at all.
But from a mental death, there can be a resurrection. And that's through continuing the effort of acknowledging yourself and knowing who you are, your position in the universe, and being a master of self, mastering yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that unfortunately, for lack of a better term, we've many of us, because we've been stripped of the knowledge of ourselves, have recaptured that through somewhat spooky practices. But yeah, man, Haiti is one of those places, man. Ill people, definitely. Every Haitian that I know is definitely strong, ill, got some ish with them, potentially movers and shakers. You know what I mean? And but again, it's a situation where that divide and conquer, because we all remember that the 80s and the 70s and 80s when they first started coming in here and somewhat en masse. And those are brothers and sisters, but because we grew up under a different system, we looking at them like they weirdos, or why do they look like that? Why do they smell like that? Remember that whole thing about HBO, Haitian body odor, and all those sort of misnomers, man. But definitely strong people, and again, paying the price socially because of what they did against the French in 1804. So, we salute and honor Toussaint Louverture, and the legacy that he handed down as far as the Haitian Revolution is concerned. And shout out to all my Haitians out there. Zach Basse, Naboule. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So that that's some of the stuff that's going on in the world. Here in the United States, down in Mississippi, there's been a hotly contested senatorial race between let me get this right and exact. Basically an original man and a so-called white woman down in Mississippi. The brother was the Democratic ticket. The Caucasian woman was the Republican. And it's been like one of the most hotly contested races, senatorial races in this election cycle. I just want to get their names right and exact. Okay, let's just read what CNN has to say about this. CNN, according to CNN yesterday, Mississippi is not a place with a monolithic culture, but one with a myriad of subcultures stitched together in a patchwork of beautiful imperfection. The black-white binary is only one lens through which to view the state. The essence of Mississippi is far more complicated. You can't visit this state and not encounter ethnic and cultural diversity, whether it is Middle Easterners, Asians, and Latinos in the Delta. A thriving gay and lesbian bookstore in the hill country hamlet of Water Valley, or the mingling of bohemian and traditional communities in its college towns. While it is difficult, both literally and figuratively, to escape symbols memorializing the state's mythologized Civil War past, whether cast in stone or as part of the state flag, there is a sizable number of Mississippians who acknowledge our complicated history, yet are looking forward to a new future. This election pitted. Oh, hold on a second. In a state where you cannot talk about history or politics without talking about race, our politicians persist in deftly moving around the issue, sometimes clumsily and other times with balletic precision. The recent Senate campaign, which ended Tuesday night in Cindy Hyde Smith's victory over Mike Espy, those are the two people, was no exception. And the movements to that delicate dance around race were at center stage. The election pitted some substantive public policy issues against the politics of fear and the culture wars, and even a broad and inclusive and politically moderate platform could not push Espy's campaign to a victory. Tuesday night, Mississippi had the opportunity to show the country that it had become a state that has shaken off its image as a closed society. In the end, it was Mississippi's past that won the election rather than its future. So again, this woman, Cindy Hyde Smith, is the Republican, was the Republican candidate. She won. She's made various comments about, I want to get it right and exact, but I know something to the effect of, lynchings were pretty much, or, hangings were like a good old time to be had back in the day, and it was like basically family entertainment. And she, was glad she lived through those times or something to that effect. Which garnered the ire of a lot of people who, Mississippians and just people in general who are watching this particular race. And, many have speculated that the only reason why she felt comfortable to make such statements comes as a result of our current presidency and level of comfortability that white supremacists have had under the Trump administration. You know what I mean? So again, she won. I'm sure Mississippians have gone through this sort of thing before. This is nothing new to them. They've dealt with racist policymakers down there, in the past. So I don't think, anyone's like, I don't think there's going to be a mass exodus to move per se, but definitely be kept abreast of what goes on politically, because again, when you have someone in a position of power making those sort of statements, it's cause for alarm to a certain degree. So yeah, the brother lost. I just really want to see if I can get up his this woman's actual comments. Public hangings. Yeah, something about public.
So I wouldn't sit front row with a public luncheon with someone so some old fly shit.
Right, something real crazy. Yeah, man. And these are the people who potentially will be the policy makers for these regions. And someone who has no problem with lynchings, public hangings, and things of that nature, it's like, come on, man. Is that who we really want in office, being a policy maker? I think not. Definitely a dangerous time I know a lot of times, I for the longest time, the summertime, your family, your folks go down south for family reunions and stuff. After I went down there the first time, I was like, look, man, I'm good. I don't really want to go down there again. It's just always a feeling that I would get once I crossed the so-called Mason-Dixon line or whatever. First of all, going through Virginia, everyone always warns you, like, look, don't get no tickets. Be careful riding through these racist Virginia towns. These rednecks are out here. They hate people from up north, especially so-called uppity Negroes that look like they might have a couple dollars. And every encounter that I've heard people say they've had with whether it's state troopers in Virginia or just regular police has not been a good one. I'm not saying that they got their skulls cracked or anything, but definitely made to feel like unwelcome and like, don't come back again. Right. And it's still like that. Anytime you got a whole town called Lynchburg, Virginia, you know what I mean? You ain't got to tell me twice. I'm not making any stops there. But yeah, man. She won, and we'll have to just monitor what happens with this Cindy Hyde person in the coming months and years, or whatever her tenure of administration is. Okay, there was another thing. Her daughter, she went to she herself went to an openly segregated school whenever she went through there.
Okay.
Something about the photograph from Hyde-Smith's 1975 yearbook of a cheerleading squad posed with a Confederate flag. As Susan Sontag writes on photography, okay, that's the person who pointed it out. Says Cindy Hyde Smith may not be a white supremacist, but the photograph provides evidence that the symbols of white supremacy were undeniably a part of her culture, cultural formation, and perhaps even shaped her politics. And she went on to enroll her own daughter in that school after it was already shown and proven that the school had some sort of like racist ideology going on. She still sends her daughter there.
Right.
Yeah, man. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And we'll definitely keep the viewership and listening audience posted on what comes of her senatorial tenure down there in Mississippi. So yeah, man, that's been going on. Getting into tonight's topic. One that Be Righteous definitely brought to the table. Salute to the God again for providing us with something very interesting.
Thank you.
Something known as the battle for world supremacy was very, very popular, I would say, in our era. Be Righteous, definitely
Absolutely.
growing up during the golden era, coming off of people like the onset of Run DMC, you know, people like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. A little bit after their era came something called the battle for world supremacy. And what that was battling amongst the elite at that time of DJs and MCs throughout the world. If you felt like your talent or craft was so great that it was untouchable, that you were readily able to put it on display for the world to see, and that you just simply got busy, you took it to the battle. What was it, the DMC Battle of World Supremacy or something?
New World Music Seminar.
Right, a new music seminar, Battle for World Supremacy.
Right.
And it was exactly that. I think us being here in Philly, we probably caught more sound of like the DJs who were involved.
Yeah, yeah, it was always the DJs who were involved,
right?
Because they say three of the first four, and it really wasn't the first four because they there was a couple DJs before Jeff.
Okay.
But I guess when it gained its notoriety, Jeff became known as the first one, and I don't know if it's that he was become the first one to win when he was at the Marriott,
okay,
Marquise, or if he was the first one to win, and then when they had the jacket, or what. But he won 86, Cash won 87, Scratch won 88, Miz won 89.
Okay.
The MC portion didn't come into play, I don't think, until 86 or 80. They say 85.
Okay.
That's why I was saying, like, it was kind of confusing. They say 85, and which was like 2 years after the DJ joint started.
Right.
And I think Cheese was one of the first. DJ Cheese from Plainsfield, New Jersey, was one of the first to he was one of the first to win. But I've heard so many different stories. So, I mean, I don't know how, accurate the accounting is of the article that I was reading, but
right.
Yeah. So the the MC battle, competition didn't come into play until like the second or the third year.
Okay. But yeah, man, I mean, I know it became like the talk of, people obviously this is before social media, before cell phones, any of that. People barely had house phones in their house. The rotary joints.
Right.
You know what I mean? This was that era, so a lot of stuff was word of mouth. And I just remember hearing people that were fortunate enough to either attend or knew someone who attended that gave them the play by play. It was something to see.
Absolutely.
It was the elite of MCs and DJs. Not whereas, in years prior, years since, and obviously now, it's like anybody could get on and, you come up with a hit record, and you're through the roof. Back then, it was very important to display who you were on a street level before you blew up.
No question.
And let people know, like, I'm the truth. I deserve to be in the spotlight, and I'm here to battle as a result of that. So with that being said, you had a lot of up and coming MCs who would attend and make quite a name for themselves. I think probably the most noted would definitely be Lord Finesse.
Yeah, between him and
Fresco, right.
And Super.
Okay. Now who's that? What, Super Lover C?
No, Supernatural.
Come on, Supernatural.
You sit there talking about that Super Lover C thing.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man, do the James.
Yeah,
Brown.
Wasn't a duo. Go ahead.
But yeah, man. Supernatural definitely had like a lot of underground buzz. And he was the first one that I heard really do that whole like imitating other MCs' voices type thing.
Word.
I can't even front. Yeah, gotta give credit where credit is due. Just hear him par himself on like Stretching Bobbito back in the day, just going crazy, rhyming. And that was something that he definitely incorporated into his style. So he was definitely one of the MCs at the Battle of World Supremacy that stood out.
Yeah, he won 93.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been around him personally. I know that he's very ill at going off the top of the head. Like his freestyle is not to be played with.
They try to say he only won because Puffy was Puffy liked him and Puffy
that could be
judging.
That could be. I think he still his talent still merits
right.
His accolades and praise, but I wouldn't say that didn't happen. It's quite possible. So yeah, man, shout out to Super Nat. Definitely like 93. It was like certain tapes circulating around Lincoln University of just like Supernatural going crazy on WKCR, like just going crazy, like blacking out for 2-3 hours straight, just rhyming.
Word.
Yeah. Go to commercial, come back, he's still rhyming all off the top of the dome.
Damn.
He's one of the illest freestylers I've ever heard. Him, this dude named Juice from Chicago, and Black Thought, and even Malik B. As far as like freestyling is concerned, throw a topic at them and watch them rhyme about it, throw lines at them and make them rhyme too. I've never seen anyone better than these guys. That handful crowd right there. Again, Black Thought, Malik B, Juice, Supernatural, illest freestylers I've ever heard.
Damn.
Ever. But now, yeah, as far as like actual recorded songs, I can't say that I know too much about what each of those artists has going on. Obviously, we know Craig G. And Craig G. Did I say Craig G?
You mentioned him, but Craig
G.
You didn't say anything.
Craig G goes into that batch too. He's one of the illest freestylers I've ever heard.
You think so?
Yes.
Craig's nice.
Craig and Super Nat went back and forth famously at the Lyricist Lounge.
Word?
Yes. Epic.
Who won?
I think they gave it to Super Nat. But Craig G definitely did his thing.
And they even talk about the year that this kid Serge from Cleveland was on there, and he annihilated Master Ace in the first round.
Okay.
That Craig G was so upset by it that he grabbed the mic like doing one of the intermissions and started going in on these cats.
Mm.
And then the cat came back, and while he was spitting to win,
Right.
he took like a little interlude or bridge and just trashed Craig G.
Mm.
I'm like, damn. They got spitters out in Ohio. My man, I know one of my mans from when I was down with Dr. York.
Mm-hmm.
He's from OH and a dime, and
Okay.
he's sick with it. They got some spitters in Ohio.
Mm. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ohio. I've never been there, but I do know that there's a large amount of talent that comes from out of there. Even like some of the bands from the 70s, obviously like Ohio players, and of course sound of some other, if I'm not mistaken, I think even like I want to say Charlie Wilson and his brother, if I'm not mistaken, are also from Ohio. The Gap, as they call it, and that's why the name the Gap Band came into play. So yeah, man, shout out to Ohio. Shout out to
No. That's Oklahoma.
You sure?
100%.
Okay.
And it's like the reason why they was called the Gap Band was because like they took the first letter from the streets that they was from.
Okay.
But it's definitely Tulsa, Oklahoma, to be exact.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that correction.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, man. But shout
out
out
Ohio players.
Yeah, Ohio players. Yeah, that's obvious.
That's a lot of. I mean, Ohio is funny because my man, I'm not sure if he finished it, and maybe we could call him during a break or whatever, or have him on as a guest. My man, he was right. He was challenged to write a rhyme about all the celebrities from Ohio.
Okay.
And I mean, he threw Jim Brown in there, but it's mad other celebrities that you would never even. I'm like, damn. Like I think like Dean Martin or somebody. They're from Ohio, of course. I mean, Dave Chappelle, part of his foundation is Ohio.
Right.
Halle Berry. It's mad. If you was to Google it, you'd be like, damn, all these people from Ohio.
Wow.
When he was running the list out, it was like 70 people. I'm like, how the hell you gonna put all of them in a rhyme, nigga? You know what I mean? That'll be a whole rhyme of just saying their names.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, I mean, it was some heavy hitters, I was like, damn.
Yeah, shout out to my man Tash from the Alcoholics.
Right.
Yeah, he's originally from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a heavy.
What's the Borders down with MG from Maybach music?
Oh yeah,
Staley, whatever his name is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, it's mad. We could be at the crossroads too.
Right, yeah. Bone Thugs. That's right. That's right.
So they got, some Ohio players.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Heat Wave. It's from like Cincinnati or around there.
Okay.
Skin tight. Right. And then you talk about rock, Computer Love.
Oh, really? Roger Troutman?
Yeah, Bootsy is from Ohio. I mean, the list just goes on.
Shout out to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely,
and
man.
they got some badass women in there. They got some pretty women in.
Yeah, you have to get there someday.
Yes. You gotta get there.
Definitely. Man. So the battle for world supremacy. Again, us being a Philadelphia turntable culture, many of us will probably remember more of the DJ component and the DJs that have won. Obviously we're talking about DJ Miz. I'm sure the Cash Money win. Did he ever enter the battle for world supremacy?
Who, Cash Money?
Yeah.
He won. He was the second one.
Right. See?
Remember, I told you. I actually, that's one of the last times I saw him was at the joint up back in 2013 or 2014. Yeah, up in
Okay.
up in Midtown.
Okay.
And it was at a club. I forget the name of the club, but yeah, he tore it down. Like they had him
Mm.
on. Like Lord Finesse was seeing the whole joint,
Okay.
and you know, and Boogie Blind was like spinning beforehand, and then Cash came on like at the intermission
Mm-hmm.
and was doing some incredible shit with Nobody Beats the Biz.
Wow. I'm sure. I'm
Oh, and
sure.
it was insane. It was just like '87 all over again.
Mm.
And as a matter of fact, did you know that Prince Paul competed?
Yeah. Yeah. I did read
Never
that.
knew that.
I didn't know that either, but I did
That
read
fucked
that.
me up. He was like, yo, he was the one that invented, like that was cutting the, the LL and then this
Right.
other, and he said Jeff did it. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do production. you know, that was dope. I was like, damn, the article was brilliantly written.
Yes. Yes, it was.
But I didn't even know like that. And that's what he was saying. The dude that won the year before, he killed him in like a previous round. So you know, it was But I mean the most memorable Jeff 86, Cash 87,
Mm.
Scratch 88. You know, and then Miz wasn't playing in '89.
Right. Right.
You know,
That's
I mean,
right.
I'll ask you the question, right? Because
Yeah.
you mentioned, Lord Finesse. Who would you say is more well known, Fresco or Lord Finesse?
Uh. Lord Finesse.
And
Who's more well known?
yeah, see, if you were a hip hop head or you were MC or you in the underground, hip hop and digging in the crates, you gonna say Lord Finesse right off the back. Plus,
Right.
he was on, he was down with Rhyme Syndicate and he was on the soundtrack for Trespass, which was
Mm.
one of Ice-T's. But I ain't pay attention to that.
That's right.
That's the only reason why he was on there.
Right. Because he was part of Ice-T's Rhyme Syndicate.
Right. And
Mm.
it was one of the cats, one of the other cats they said from Ohio. He went and joined Rhyme Syndicate like the year that he had battled, for world supremacy. He did
Okay.
win. I think his name was Bay, something with a B. But yeah, so these cats went on to do some things.
Mm.
But it's like Lord Finesse, he if you ain't really a hip hop head, you don't know Lord Finesse.
Right. Right.
But however, if you are a hip hop head, whether you're a hip hop head or not, Miz and Fresco had a hit.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's not only played in Philadelphia, despite what True Justice thinks. You know, I've heard of different pockets of the country.
Right.
And so I mean, based upon that, I mean, is or was Fresco's career more prolific than Lord Finesse? No, not everybody should. But to his credit, he also got he also got co-signed by Biggie, and Biggie did a track with him.
Yes, sir.
So Fresco's not to be slept on. It wasn't my favorite MC because he
Right.
could be kind of annoying. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he has some bars.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just the fact that their name is attached to that at a time where that seminar really meant something. Like, yo, you was at the battle for world supremacy, let alone you won the battle for world supremacy.
Right.
Come on, man. That was major.
I
That
mean,
was major
what
back
was
then.
what was more surprising to me. We all know. I didn't learn until recent how significant Clark Kent
Okay.
was to the pantheon of hip hop.
Okay.
Especially going back when you get to, early mid 90s.
Right.
You got me?
Right.
I mean, he was heavy in the late 80s and stuff, but he really was like, the man, 90s moving on forward to like the mid 90s, late 90s. So Clark told Fresco to go do that. Like Fresco was known around Brooklyn, but he was like, yo, you improve you the best, Fresh, you need to go here.
Mm.
And he went and did it and came off.
Mm. That's right.
So
now I wonder who linked them up with Miz. Was it of
Oh,
their own.
yeah, it was just. I think that was just something that they did at the time.
Okay.
Because all right, cool. You got the winner, and they was on Tommy Boy, weren't they? I'm trying to remember what label was that.
I'm not even sure.
I think it was Tommy Boy. Someone was telling me Tommy Boy, but it was just like that was. I don't know if they did that any other year. Paired the DJ, the winning DJ with the winning MC.
Right. Classic stuff, man. Classic
Hmm.
stuff. Well, listen, with that being said, why don't we get into a sound set and check
Absolutely,
out some of these brothers,
no question.
Um, perhaps we'll start with a little Fresh Go and DJ Miz here
Hmm.
on the official last word under the umbrella of Big Bad Radio.
Radio.
Oh yeah,
Get busy.
that was the Chief Rocker Busy Bee in the place to be with one of his only singles that I know of that actually charted somewhat. Suicide, not a homicide, but a suicide.
Suicide.
Suicide. Yeah, man. Chief Rocker Busy Bee, for those that aren't aware, legendary MC. Um, came through an era where hip hop was young. He was one of the more party rocking, crowd rocking MCs. Not necessarily what we would deem or consider lyrical. In fact, his most noted rap battle was with Kool Mo D.
Was that a battle?
Um, or for lack of a better term, Annihilation was with Kool Mo D, who somewhat ushered in the era of that multi-syllabic rhyming and just really taking pride in like straight up battle verses where uh Busy B was more like everybody say ho rock the
Party
house.
MC,
Right, party people say ho rock the house. And you know, just more of a call or response type of
Come on, clap.
right.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, clap.
Bong, bong, dong, bong.
Dang. Yeah, man. Yeah, because there was that. What was that famous line that Kool Mo D says? Something about put that ball bull ish on hold. You know what I mean? And just ushered in a whole new era, like to the point where I remember being young. And one of my uncles, one of his favorite rappers was Kool Mo D, and I could not understand for the life of me. I was like, "Yeah, Kool Mo D is cool." And then now we're talking like, you know, me and my uncle had this conversation probably in like '87 or something like that. And he just kept saying, "Yo, Kool Mo D, Kool Mo D, Kool Mo D." But what I had to when I got older, I did the knowledge. My uncle was going to Shippensburg State around the time that this battle took place. Probably caught sound of one of these tapes that was circulating or something like that. So he knew the potential of someone like a Kool Mo D. Whereas when I got introduced to Kool D, I mean, of course I knew about Feel the Heartbeat and, you know, the Treacherous Three with LA Sunshine and all that, but I just didn't know that Kool Mo D was taking out people during battle. So, Heartbeat, Feel the Heartbeat, Treacherous Three, we got a new heartbeat. You know, I didn't really know what my uncle was talking about and why he was such a Kool Mo D fan.
You saw Kool Mo D up under Dougie Fresh Nuts pause. You know, on B Street, right? That was B Street, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Classic film, by the way. Classic film.
What's your take on Wild Style?
Classic film.
That's when we first got introduced to Busy B.
That's right. That's right.
I think he was the only MC in there.
Right.
And he was flying there. You know what I'm saying? That's what niggas was rocking.
Well, no, you know what? Actually, the Cold Crush was in that also. The Fantastic.
Lil Robbie Seagull.
Right. They were in it as well. But what was the battle where on the basketball court? It's the Cold Crush versus. Oh man, I should know this. I'm about to get my hip hop card revoked. Because they would say after every all right, it was Prince Whipper Whip and all them dudes. That's Cold Crush. Whipper Whip, Charlie Rock, of course, Kaz. But who were they battling on the basketball court? It'll come to me in a minute. But yeah, they're all in Wild Style, classic film for the hip hop aficionado that really prides himself in being knowledgeable about the real b-boy era of hip hop. You have to have seen that film or have to have it in your possession. You know what I mean? It's just like hip hop 101 in a sense. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But Busy B, man, he apparently battled Roxanne Shante at one of the, I don't know which year it was, but the battle for world
85, I think it
supremacy.
was.
Man, and I mean, I didn't hear that particular one, but I caught sound of one with and it could, for all I know, it could have been that same year with Shante battling Fuquan from Stetsasonic. And I mean, she's going in, like giving it
Word.
to him. And this is all off. You could tell, you could kind of tell when someone's freestyling off the top of the dome. You
Mm-hmm.
could tell it was all off the top of the dome because she's just like basically ranking him right there on the spot, talking about what he's got on, his looks, and yada yada yada, in that true Roxanne Shante fashion. And I mean, she's just giving it up. She is giving
Word.
it up. Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
man.
check that out.
Definitely. I want to say the Fantastic Romantics versus the Cold Crush.
Probably so.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Classic battle on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the onlookers were, if I'm not mistaken, that group that Angie B was a part of.
Oh, Creekwood?
Right. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, man. Definitely. A part of hip hop history, a part of this whole, battle for world supremacy era, and when we came up, it was definitely a bad, not just a badge of honor, but just like you got major props for even being a part of that. It meant that you were worthy of really being talked about as an MC. And it was like at a time where a rite of passage had to take place. Like
Mm-hmm.
people had to say, okay, this dude's certified because he be out here battling people and going in, you know. So, again, for whatever reason, me being here in Philly, for some reason, I caught sound more of the DJ component.
Okay.
Obviously we got people representing us like Jazzy Jeff, Cash Money, DJ Miz, notable names that people throughout the world, when they think of Philly, think of the, definitely off top. When they think of Philly hip hop, they think, oh, you guys got the illest DJs,
Mm-hmm.
but we got some ill MCs too. And always have, they just perhaps have not been garnered that level of notoriety.
Why ain't nobody from Philly win the joint?
Very good question. Very good
I mean,
question.
you said we had the MCs. I mean,
Very good
only MC
question.
we got that I think would have won, is straight up.
Definitely. Speaking of EST from 3 Times Dope, I think even somebody like Jazz Fresh, if he had entered something like that, would have gave a lot of dudes a run for their money.
Word.
You know what I mean? Seriously. Shout out to Jazz Fresh. Shout out to everybody from South Philly, man. That might be tuned in to the official last word.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But again, talking about Roxanne Shante, I mean, her battle prowess has been legendary, both on wax and in person. Obviously, she, spearheaded what we know as the Juice Crew Wars. Definitely the goings back and forth between the Juice Crew and Boogie Down Productions, specifically KRS-One. And what can we say, man? Shantae, at a time when she was like 14, 15, 16 years old, being first of all, being snuck into certain clubs that she probably obviously had no business being in at that age,
Mm-hmm.
and just straight coming at people's necks and freestyling. That's the whole thing. Freestyling off the top of the dome right there on the spot, which is a talent that has been definitely lost to a great degree within mainstream hip hop. I'm sure there's
Mm-hmm.
still freestylers out here who do it. Again, the people that I've heard really excel at that: Juice from Chicago, Craig G, our very own Black Thought. Definitely got to throw Malik B in the mix of that, because I've heard him go off the top of the dome like it's just regular talking and
Mm-hmm.
come off. Somebody like a Supernatural, very ill in terms of freestyling,
Mm-hmm.
and coming off the top of the dome. Definitely, man. Those are the people that really stick out in my mind when it comes to that. Now, are you aware were there specific categories within MCing at the Battle for World
No,
Supremacy, or was it just
battle rap.
just battling?
Yeah, you get two rounds or whatever,
Right,
and
right,
you get voted on.
right.
And they say Busy B was just because Curtis Blow was one of the judges. That's how Busy B won. Because Curtis Blow just voted for him because he was old school.
Right.
I mean, it's some deep stuff, man.
Right. Now, Busy B, if I'm not mistaken, he's from the Bronx, right?
That's what he just said.
That's what he just said. Yeah, yeah. For some reason, for many years, I thought he was a Harlem cat. You know what I mean?
He talk fly like a Harlem cat.
Right. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe dressed like one.
Right.
Yeah, he wasn't your typical South Bronx
right
cat. You know what I mean?
Right. But if we're mentioning the Bronx and we're mentioning the battle for world supremacy, we have to talk about the LORDFINESSE.
I'm smacking motherfuckers up like Puerto Ricans playing handball.
Yeah, man. Lord Finesse, man. I mean, what can we say, man? At the tender age of like 18, 19, probably even 17.
I'm 17 because he's the same age as us.
Right. Well, I think he's maybe like a year or two older than us, honestly.
I'm pretty sure he's a God wisdom baby.
Okay, we'll have to Google that.
But
in 89, he was saying he was 19.
Word?
Yeah.
He said that was strictly for the ladies?
Yes. Now I'm 19. Before I was 18. I'm not faking. I'm just stating that I'm greater. I'm a creator. If you are ugly, then I'll check you later. But if you are bigger, got a nice figure, contact me if you don't have a. See, bingo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's like two cycles ahead of us. But yeah, man, the Funky Technician.
That was one of his wackest joints.
What, the Funky Technician?
No.
Strictly for the ladies? You thought so? I always thought that was fire.
Compared to the Funky Technician?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
Man, please. Because I'm a rapper and a pretty damn good one. I mean, that Funky Technician, but the way Lord Finesse, the Funky Technician.
I mean, that's definitely ill.
He was the first one to use that Blind Man Can See It.
Definitely ill, man. That's right.
Man, the lyrics, sickening.
Definitely.
Sickening on that.
Jeans and hoods, there's no doubt that I rap good. I walk down the block with my hat turned backwards.
To many.
I may look like a hoodlum, but I'm a rapper and a pretty damn good one.
But Let's Lost Your Touch?
Nah, it's still there. Shout out to Diamond D. I didn't know back then that there was Diamond D on them little ad libs right there.
Word?
Finesse Lost Your Touch? Yeah.
Damn, I ain't know that.
Yeah. That's Diamond D.
Well, who did that track?
It might be Diamond D.
I don't think that was Diamond.
Okay. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him.
We can pull up the credits.
Okay.
We ain't got to ask Diamond.
Okay.
I'm sure he'd tell you the truth, but
okay. Yeah, man. I mean, definitely. I mean, the names we're throwing around, for those that aren't aware, are names synonymous with the legendary DITC, or Digging in the Crates crew. Probably currently the most popular one in terms of mainstream approval at this dispensation of time would be Fat Joe. Everybody knows about Fat Joe. Lean back. Well, he started out pretty much as almost like one of the bottom guy on the totem pole and Digging in the Crates in terms of in terms of rhyming ability. But one thing I always appreciated about Fat Joe is every time he came out, he got better and better and better. Yeah, man.
If it's not Fat Joe, then it must be Lord Finesse.
That's right, man. and all of them coming from the Bronx, and just definitely making a very, very strong impact in their own right. I even put one of I guess Finesse's proteges on the list, and Andre the Giant. For those of us that remember Showbiz and AG, Soul Clap. I remember hearing an interview with AG saying how Lord Finesse would take him along to like battles, and took him along to the battle for world supremacy. And although I think, if I'm not mistaken, AG didn't really enter, there would be other side battles throughout the process, or even in the street leading up to going into the venue. So he had an opportunity to cipher and spit rhymes against some of the elite at that time. Yeah, the names escape me, but I remember him saying that in an interview. And he's still around, still putting out music and things of that nature, man. So shout out to the whole DITC, Buck Wild, again, Showbiz, AG, Diamond D, Law Finesse, rest in power to Big L. You know what I mean? The whole DITC, man. They just
wasn't Freddie Fox down with them?
I'm not sure, but it was like Freddie Fox is like kind of like affiliated with everybody to a certain degree, man. He's got a lot of hip hop history.
Yes, he
with
does.
Him, man. OC was a part of Digging in the Creeks, which always baffled me. Do you know why? How a Brooklyn cat ended up down with DITC? Yeah, I'm very interested to know that. You know what I mean? Very interested to know that, and how he came about to be a part of the Digging in the Crates crew. But yeah, man, it's Lord Finesse, man. Come on, man, the funky man. Yeah, it's him again.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I listen to that CD, anytime Strictly for Ladies came up, and I mean the track was I mean the track was all right, but it was like, and he spit some shit,
right?
But I'm trying to tell you, if you was a lyricist, or like it was like you said, the funky technician,
right?
I mean, I even like that. What's the I forget that sample. The slow John. I forget, it'll come to me.
My joint was you nasty, baby.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. You nasty, baby. Yeah, man. Finesse used to go in. Yeah, man, but I don't know who he battled up with. We at a certain point, definitely need to delve deeper and just figure out exactly who he ended up having a battle going through that particular contest. But I just know that that's where he got the attention of, if I'm not mistaken, Ice-T. And remember, for a minute he was running with Ice-T's Rhyme Syndicate.
Yeah, him and the other cat, like I said,
and Everlast was actually a part of that.
There was another cat from Cleveland that who got picked up by Rhyme Syndicate after the World Supremacy.
Right.
And that was like a year or two before Lord Finesse.
Right.
But I forget who I think Lord Finesse came close to beating Fresco. And then the following year he won.
Okay.
Which makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Sure. So Lord Finesse won in 90, I think.
Okay.
He came close to getting with Fresco.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember I guess shortly after his album dropped or whatever, seeing him on Yo MTV Raps, and them really making a big thing about the fact that he did win the battle for world supremacy that year. Yeah, man, Lord Finesse, man. And I mean, he's not only parlayed a nice career as an MC, but as a producer
and a DJ,
and definitely contributed to like now what record did he do on Ready to Die?
No, I don't know if he did anything on Ready to Die.
Oh, it wasn't Ready to Die?
He might have. I don't remember. I just thought he was on Dre's I think his second album.
Okay.
He did the joint. One of my favorite tracks that Dre
Okay.
ever did was The Message
Okay.
with Mary J. Blige.
Mm.
Oh, the track was nuts. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, the track is crazy.
Mm. Another cat, Percy P.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't digging in the
Yes,
crates,
he
was he?
was.
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Percy P. And if I'm not mistaken,
He
did
was
he
in it, but
win?
I don't think he won.
Okay, right. I know he garnered a lot of attention as a result, though.
Right.
Definitely, man. Definitely got to meet him a couple times.
Word.
Real good brother, real solid brother, real humble, and just just proud to be a part of the culture at any capacity, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think I met him through Diamond D
Probably
many
so.
years ago. Yeah, man. Shout out to Percy P, Diamond D, the whole DITC. Shout out to Fat Joe. One time I was in the tunnel rolling up some green.
Uh-huh.
And of course, everybody who was famous, it was no problem for them to roll up and smoke in the tunnel. But the minute that I did it, the bouncers was ready to throw me out. And Fat Joe intervened and was like, nah, he's good. Let him stay. Because at the time I was running with the and one basketball uh squad. My man Set Free was like the dude at and one who was bringing the talent.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had me in the mix with people like Fat Joe and stuff like that. So earlier that day, there was some sort of celebrity basketball game in Harlem that we were
At
at
the
and we
Rucker.
went to. Yeah, probably, yeah, it was at the Rucker actually. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we went to the tunnel that night, Fat Joe remembered that I was part of the entourage. It was like, nah, let him stay. He's good. Let him do his thing. So they took my weed, but they did let me stay. So
Damn, they took your weed.
yeah, they took my green, man. Probably went in the back somewhere and smoked it. But
and what they told you gotta give up the green or get the fuck
yeah,
out.
or you gotta roll. Yeah. So yeah, man. Salute to Fat Joe, man. Salute
Damn,
to
Joe
Fat
let them
Joe.
fuck Fat Joe. He let them control your green.
Well, he did as much as he could to let me stay, so I couldn't complain at that point. But yeah, man.
You should tell him it's really not real. It's just a front for the girl.
Hey, how about that? Definitely, man. Definitely, man. But I mean, what more can we say? Again, Fat Joe is someone who still has a healthy career, still punching out hits, still putting out people like Remy Ma and doing stuff like that. But I mean, we all already know his legacy in terms of the Terror Squad and putting out Big Pun, who's arguably, a lot of people do the whole thing, the most successful Latino rapper. I just say he was just one of the illest MCs, period.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's
fuck nationality.
Yeah, fuck nationality. We don't deal with that anyway. He's original, man. He could rhyme. He could rhyme, I mean, supremely. He was excellent with it. He left a legacy. He had hella charisma and personality, and he's sorely missed. You know what I mean? Sorely missed, man. And a part of one of the greatest crews in hip hop, being the Terror Squad. They definitely made their mark. And again, Fat Joe was the catalyst for that. And he comes off the legacy of DITC. So with all that being said, man, why don't we just get into some DITC right now, man? Why don't we kick it off with my man Lord Finesse, play a couple of tunes by him. Maybe we'll punch up something by Percy P here on the official Last Word. Don't go nowhere. Battle for World Supremacy. Check it out.
This nigga's a loser.
I'm the Imperial Pro Material. Forget the cookies, eat Mikey D cereal.
And I'm just fucked up that you even remember any of this, like from 87,
Hey
31
man, the
years
street
ago.
beat with Lady B kept everybody well informed, man. You already
They
know.
should have broke this when it was this shit should have been made.
Mikey Destruction, he's a Queens legend.
Yeah. And an LL wannabe.
That was but during that era, everybody was rapping like that. You know what I mean? I remember there's a dude that I'm sure Love knows because Love's homeboy, my man Snipes, aka Michael Morris from Sarah Junior High, is a dude named Exotic E. That was that dude like in
Yeah,
in
you
our
told me.
in our neighborhood in West Philly, and he was just like had that same LL style of rhyming, but he was nice with it. You know what I mean? Like it was that
Drill
era,
team.
man. It was that era. It was definitely that era. Shout out to Sarah Junior High. I know it's a high school now. When we came through, it was a junior high.
It's not both, or it's just all high.
I think it's just all high now. You know what I mean? Went through everything in that school. It was my first.
Oh, it's not. It's like a Science Leadership Academy.
Oh, is that what it is now?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good. I'm glad they made something positive out of it because when I came through there, it was a straight gladiator school. You know what I mean? We got stabbed, shot, and karate chopped.
And then they got the community center.
Okay.
Still carrying on the legacy or whatever. They put more money into that.
Dope, man.
Yeah, you got to know what's going on in your neighborhood, guys.
Yes, sir. And matter of fact, the brother we had up here, Porn, went to Sarah. I didn't know it at the time, but remember he was saying he went to Sarah and all that.
Oh,
you know what I mean, man? Shout out to him, man.
No question.
You know what I mean?
Brother we had up there.
Hell yeah, man. We done had some heavy hitters up here, man.
No question.
You know what I mean?
And more to come.
More to come. That's right, definitely, man. But prior to that, we listened to the Funky Technician, Lord Finesse.
One of the best things he ever did.
Yes, sir. And obviously you're speaking strictly for the ladies. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. I really and you know what? That last verse, I know you were saying that he didn't finish strong, but he had an alternative video version, had a different last verse.
It did?
Yeah, it was like, now I don't fib on what I can give. We can go on a date or lounge at the crib. Sit back and chill, get relaxed and loosen. Pop in a tape of some Whitney Houston. Because a date with me, you won't regret. I make it last like the smooth brother Keith Sweat. Dope, fresh, and I get respect. And don't compare me to your next or your ex, man. Lord Finesse is a swinger, a DJ and a rhyme singer. Girls, I got them sold, sport them like gold and have them wrapped around my last finger. Now I'm getting swift with the skills God gave me, dedicating stuff like this strictly for the ladies. Come on, man, Lord Finesse.
Oh my goodness.
At his best.
No, Lord Finesse, yeah, no, it wasn't at his best. I mean, he was laying some serious game down for these bros, but no, he wasn't at his best. I mean, like,
man.
Who you? Let me ask you a question. Who you think spit more or better G at the women?
Out of all the history of MCing,
yeah,
I had to say Uncle L.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Future of the Funk. You know what I mean? L just he was so creative with it. He just be saying stuff like, yeah, I'm just sitting here sipping on his bottles and James Premium Peach flavored wine cooler. You know what I mean? Just saying shit like that. And like what was the record? He asked the girl, I thought you just might want to come over and have some donuts and milk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like back then, everybody was super tough. You wouldn't think of saying nothing like that, inviting a girl over to have donuts and milk. But L, he had no filter when it came to coming at girls.
No,
you know what I mean?
Ladies love Cool J.
Right. And then his range was so he go from that to Dear Yvette, where he just straight bodying chicks on the record. Right.
Around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uncle L, man.
Nobody did it. And then like, I think his best all time is Hey Love. Hey Lover.
Yeah. He goes in on that.
Yeah. I mean, nobody does it better, man.
Yes, sir.
Elvis.
Yes, sir.
As some call him. I mean, the brother is dope. So, but I mean, I love Lord Finesse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Him again.
I mean, I don't know what happened with Supernet. I mean, Tom Silverman said it's sad that most of these battle rappers or, cats can't make a record. Lord
Right.
Finesse was one of the few that was able to.
Right.
I mean, because Fresco was not the strongest at that. I mean, I don't know what happened if somebody wrote his stuff or somebody was actually, like right at him with regards to We Don't Play.
Right.
He's never made anything that come close to that.
Right.
And it's just sad because when you look, I mean, Busy B had a nice little song. You know what I'm saying?
Suicide.
Right.
Not a homicide, but a suicide.
And who comes after Busy B? Because Mikey D, trash. Who else? So we had Fresco after Mikey D in '89.
Right.
Lord Finesse in '90. '93 was Super Nat. So we don't know who '91 and '92 was, and I think '94 was your boy, right?
Who,
Eminem.
Slim Shady. I'm not sure if it was quite that early. It might have been when they because really Slim Shady didn't really hit the scene until like 97,
right,
98. So it might have been when they reintroduced. But I'll put him on the list because he battled. One of his most famous battles was with Juice, who won one year. The dude Juice from Chicago, who's one of the, like I said, one of the illest I've ever heard freestyle off the top of the dome and make it sound like written.
What year did Juice win?
That might have been when they restarted it up. Honestly, I gotta go back and do the knowledge on that research you sent me, but definitely Juice is battle tested. Like I said, he went up famously against Eminem, and now I know that had to be like somewhere between 97 and 99. Yeah, when like M first hit the scene. But that's one thing, man. No matter what anybody wants to say about Eminem and his career, he's been battle tested and proven. You know what I'm saying? He never, from what I understand, never backed down from a battle. Just went out there and did his thing. You know what I mean? Nobody could take that away from him. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I put him on the list. And definitely by way of that whole Juice situation, and yeah, man, the battle for world supremacy, man. I think maybe it certainly served a purpose again, because it was like a rite of passage, and you legitimately knew that if somebody came through that system, they had to be nice, because it was like, the best of the best, the creme de la creme of MCing or DJing. So it wasn't like nowadays it's like anybody could just get on a mic. You come out with a catchy single and it's a hit for you. Back then it was like you had to go through, something like that to prove to the world that you could be, like we used to say, down. You ain't down. Like the way you were down was like showing skills, So hey man, we still need something like that out here, man. For sure. For sure. It would filter out a lot of the whackness. Man. And just make, the best MCs come forward, put their best foot forward and do their thing. Now, the only thing is, like, nowadays, if that were to happen, if someone loses a battle, that may take away from their credibility. So they may not, they may think that they won't get the album sales because it'd be like, oh, you lost that battle early on in your career. Nobody can. So that's why a lot of these cats don't get involved in things like that. You know what I mean? But again, it's sorely missed and something we definitely need. I don't know if they're still currently doing that, but they need to be, for sure. For sure. Again, to filter out the whackness.
I mean, King's son was in one of the I think I could have sworn they said he won one year.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, it was just, it's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
Man. I mean, like, it's a lot of memories, and I'm just like upset that I wasn't, paying attention and wasn't, up on it, because it was always like, oh shit, I forgot this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, dope. Want to thank Mr. Silverman for putting that together.
For sure.
And allowing it to grow and take life. And it was just wasn't segregated to individuals from New York.
Right.
So.
Right. Definitely, man. Salute to the whole battle for world supremacy, both the MCs and DJs who won, or just anybody who participated, man, definitely became a part of hip hop folklore and just the fabric of hip hop in general, and the sharpening of the skill of the MC and the DJ. You know, again, in Philly, we were definitely well represented via our DJs, and people know what time it is on that through the battle for world supremacy. But you know, we also get busy on the mic too. But shout out to everybody that participated in that, because again, it has contributed to the culture at large. And you know, again, a powerful show, one that we trust has been informative. Before we bounce, Be Righteous is going to let everybody know where they can check us out on social media.
Yeah, that's O Last Word, OLASTWORD. That's O Last Word on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Want everybody to stay tuned. You know, definitely don't be, big up to everybody on Periscope,
Yeah,
and YouTube Live.
yeah,
Don't be afraid to interact. Share the good, share the love, share the good, the good shit that we doing here with your friends, family members,
that's right.
and enjoy your holy days if that's what you into. Shout out to Holy Day nigga. He just celebrated his Donald Trump this past Sunday. And shout out to my son Knowledge Born now.
Yo,
He celebrated his 22nd.
that's peace. That's peace. Peace to the gods, peace to the
Peace.
earth, peace to the righteous people throughout the universe. We appreciate you for tuning in to the official Last Word under the umbrella of Big Bad Radio. And as always, in parting, we leave you with peace.